Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Bertrand. I'm the chairman of the Permanent Building Committee. Tonight, we're just going to go over some of the aspects of the high school project. We have a brief presentation. Hopefully, that will answer any and all questions you may have, but obviously, there may be some, and we'd be happy to answer those at the end of the presentation. And on Zoom, once we get done with the presentation, if you raise your hand, we'll have someone monitoring it to see if any questions you may have. Okay, just for introduction wise, here tonight is Jerry Hammersley from Bond, the general contractor, who also happens to live nearby. Matthew Dowell, also from Bond, Peter Robach from the Architects SMMA, from Left Field, who is the owner's project manager, Lynn Stapleton, and Tim Baker. Several members of the Permanent Building Committee are here tonight as well. And from the school department, Tim O'Brien, the grounds facilities manager. So if you have questions for all of us at the end, we hopefully will be able to answer all of them. To begin with, we want to talk about the logistics and the construction, and I'll ask Mr. Hammersley to provide that.
Hello again. So in the beginning, we did start with the site work. We've kind of actually moved on at this point into the foundations. So we're on basically kind of the second phase of what this slide represents. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be getting into the building's going to start to go vertical with structural steel. So the site will start to look a lot different. So essentially, in the coming weeks, it'll just be us kind of completing the balance of the foundations over the next month or so. Finishing up a lot of the utility work around the yard. Over the summer, we did bring in all of the utilities off the street from Farm Street and Hemlock. So right now we're in the process of basically tying all those into the building's foundation within the property limits. So that goes for all of your sanitary storm. We did bring the culvert all through the site, the new culvert to replace the old one, and then the electrical infrastructure that's coming from the new energy park at the top of Hemlock Road. So again, we're in the next couple of weeks, we will get into the structural steel. Can we flip to the next slide? Next. So basically, the circulation kind of remains the same as it has been. We did make an adjustment of one of the gates on Hemlock Road. That was just to align with the old gate was sort of lined up with where the old parking lot was, and now it's so that we can drive trailers in between the two buildings from Hemlock Road. So over at the Farm Street side, we're still remaining bringing trucks into Gate 1. Outside of the drop-off and pickup hours. So that circulation over at Woodville is still working in the morning as well. And then in this photo here over to the right, you can see the softball field. We're actually working on the final stages of finishing the restoration of that. As many of you know, the culvert did go through the softball field. So as part of the project, we did do a full restoration of that field. So that should be finished up in the next couple of weeks. And that'll be ready for the school to use for the spring season for softball. The other part that we're diligently working on finishing is the upper parking lot, Lot J. That was scheduled to open this month, but we did hit a lot of ledge up in that upper parking lot that was not planned on. So there was somewhat of a delay, but basically November 8th is the target date to finish that lot, to give 122 spaces back to the student population to park up in that lot. Currently right now down in Lot H, which is our staging lot, kind of the top left corner of this picture, we did give 15 of our spots to students that Tim and Joe Mulaney were able to share with them. What else here? So basically, the development of the rest of the site is, has taken shape with, foundations. Um, in terms of parking, I think everything has been going pretty well since school started. But Tim is going to talk to you a little bit about some of the general safety, kind of around the campus.
Good evening. As Joe said, my name's Tim O'Brien. I'm the Director of Facilities for Wakefield Public Schools. And as a result of the construction that's going on in the area and some safety concerns that have been addressed to us by the public, some of these safety measures have been put in place. And I'll kind of walk through some of what that looks like. So as many of you have seen, we've changed a little bit of how traffic operates by the high school. We've added a rapid flashing beacon for the crosswalk that's up past Nahant Street towards Old Nahant Street. We've added temporary speed tables, which will be removed during the winter season for snow if anybody has any questions or concerns about that. So those will not come through the entire winter with us. It's weather dependent. School zone markings have been updated by DPW. A speed trailer was placed on Hemlock Road. As you're coming down from the Voc school, you'll see just after the speed table is there is a speed monitoring sign. And if you're going the appropriate speed limit, it'll thank you for that. And an additional crossing guard's been hired at the corner of Hemlock Road and Nahant Street. We did have a hiccup in that plan at one point. But we were able to address that pretty rapidly and get somebody back there and crossing students, which we've been happy with. At times, it does cause a little bit of traffic, but in the interest of the safety of the students that are on foot coming to our schools, we think that's a worthwhile endeavor. And I think that's it for safety measures. Thank you very much.
So just, these are some drone shots, recently taken, but so just showing from Farm Street, kind of looking on with the site in the back. So the two buildings that are over to the right-hand side of this, or the two parts of the foundation, I guess I could call them at this point, but, that's A and B building. Okay, so now it's on the left-hand side. Those are the classroom wings, what will be the classroom wings. The space kind of in the middle where there's a few excavated holes for footings, that's a C building where the cafeteria and the learning commons will be. The top kind of right side of the picture where there's probably 7 or 8 more footings there is where the gymnasium and the kitchen, some of the locker rooms and all that stuff will be. The section that's sort of down to the bottom of the photo here, kind of in the middle, is where the auditorium is going to be. And then the piece over to the left, I'm sorry, to the right side, my other left, is where the superintendent's office and cable access TV will be, kind of closer to the Wiley Street there. And then again, you can see the softball field restoration kind of going on in the top right corner there. Flip to the next one. So this is still showing in the top of the photo, the foundation's there, but this captures the upper lot construction. So there's that large retaining wall to the top of the photo of the lot here that's what's going to basically give us the opportunity to sort of push towards the school with additional parking. We're adding, I believe it's 44 parking spaces to what was there before, for a total of 122 spaces that'll be provided back to the students once we get this completed in November. Next. So these are just some renderings of what the new school's going to look like once we get this completed. So this is kind of from Farm Street or from Beasley Field looking in. That section in the middle is that C building where you'd see the cafeteria and the learning commons inside there. So this is basically from that same vantage point looking at C building. That's currently the way it looks today. Getting that closed up and completing those foundations just ahead of the steel getting going. Next. All right, so this is a courtyard in the back, so you're kind of, your back is to the wetlands or the woods there, looking out. So this is, A building. Actually, I'm sorry, this is looking from Hemlock Road in, that's B building with A on your right. Those are the two classroom wings. And this is probably that same vantage point, but inside the site, so B building is straight ahead, with A building on the left. Again, this is pretty much the way it looks today. We're just finishing up the steel there, and then this is the courtyard that I was referring to, with A building on your left. Right hand side here. So nice plaza area with gathering spaces. And this is the way that looks today. So this will largely take shape over the next year and a half, getting that completed. That is the finished auditorium inside, what it will look like. That was what it looked like today. And there is the, this will be obviously the new gymnasium, which will be on the second floor, unlike the one that is currently on the lower level of the field house. Dining commons or cafeteria, learning commons stair there. Right above this is the library media center that you can see here on your right. It is the library media center that's on the second floor. This is in C building. So this is on the front side, sort of overlooking Farm Street. Lynn?
Lynn Stapleton from Wakefield. We're the owner's project manager, and just wanted to give you a quick overview of where we stand with the project today. We're several months into construction, and it's a 34-month construction period. We're looking to still be on time to open the school on January 4th of 2027. And from that point, we'll start the demolition of the existing school and begin the site work for the new Beasley Oval and the whole front part of the school. As Jerry went through the construction progress at this point, we're busy trying to get ready for receiving steel over the next few weeks. And then you'll start to see the building take shape a little bit more. I think next. I think we're all set with what we had for a presentation, but we're here for any questions and answers.
So does anybody have any questions? Oh, go ahead. Okay. All right. So if anybody has any questions? Yes, Dennis.
Is that a southern exposure on those big windows? And is there going to be any projection over them to keep the heat from the sun in the summer from?
When you're talking about the southern exposure for on the opening or the front of it?
Yeah,
Yep.
That one there. But there's other explosion.
Oh. So I live on Nahan Street, Maria Olivera, and recently there have been at least 3 trucks coming down the street with huge steel beams. And I don't know if they're going to the high school or the Voc school, and it's actually been on Facebook. And also, a lot of trucks, bringing out materials. And again, I don't know if that's the town dump or if that's material from this development. So does anybody know anything about that?
So the steel trailers are not to do with us this week. Then the week of the 21st, the steel trailers will start coming in, but they will be coming from 95 down 129 and down Farm
Right.
Street from there. We've been basically telling everybody that's coming in to use those routes. I won't say that we don't have trailers that do go places that they're not supposed to, because we all know that truck drivers do what they want, but we do explicitly tell all the vendors and all the delivery people not to go down Nahant Street. In terms of what's coming, there have been trucks coming out of the Nahant Street pit related to the high school in the last 3 days. We had dirt that was stored in there that's being hauled away. Those trailers have been told to take a left when they come out of the pit to go back to farm in 129. Whether they go the other way, I can address that if that is happening. But they are told to take a left to go back to Farm Street.
Great, thank you.
Hi, when the construction site seeks modifications from the town, like extension of working hours to 6 a.m. or Saturday work, why are members of the adjacent neighborhoods and abutters not being notified?
So the reason for the earlier start time was there was meetings between the construction project and public safety, as well as the school department prior to school starting. Just related to basically student safety in the mornings. They wanted the construction workers and any of the deliveries to be inside of the site prior to the 7 o'clock hour when all of the students start arriving. So that was the driving force behind the earlier start time. We actually are starting currently at 6:30 because of daylight, because it's just too dark in the morning, so.
Back to the question. It was, why aren't you notifying abutters?
So that's something that I can bring to the table, and we can look into that. I'll speak with my leadership, and we can look at doing that and working with you to communicate that better.
It's posted on the project website, the town website, and I believe that email chains went out as well. I don't know that everybody is on it, on the email chain, but there was notification provided.
Right.
As an abutter, I can tell you that I was not notified, and these changes make a significant impact on our lives. A greater effort to tell us would be greatly appreciated, particularly from everyone back on Wiley Street.
Well, we're done here, could you please come down and give your email address to Lynn so that you can make sure you're put on that list, okay?
And then just as a general, we are adding on the website, it's probably too hard to read, but it says subscribe to email updates. That is on the website. So if you go there and submit your name and information, you'll get put on a monthly mailer that we're going to be starting to send out that will have that type of project information.
Any other questions?
Yes. Will there be something similar to the Savings Bank Theater in the new project?
Not the size that this is. It will be larger. That auditorium that Jerry showed you the picture of, that's the new theater.
Okay.
There it is. And it's not going to be similar to this. This was built several years ago through the efforts of not only the savings bank, their assistants, but also individuals. And if you look on the chairs, you'll see that there are names on almost all of these chairs. And all of those names will be taken from this theater and placed on chairs in the new theater, because those people that donated for these chairs should be acknowledged for their contribution to create this particular facility.
Okay, so the chairs won't go to the new
The
theater.
chairs, no, they're
The-
gonna be
the-
new chairs,
The plaques, the dedication names.
but the plaques, there's going to be, the plaques are going to be on all the chairs. They're gonna get new plaques but the names will all be there on the chairs, just as they are here.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem. All right. Are there any questions on the Zoom?
I'm asking a question.
Rob, if, I think you're unmuted now.
Okay, can I ask my question?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, hi, it's Rob Weddick. We were very involved in the original Savings Bank Theater. And we've realized that it's a great asset to the town, having a space that can hold about a couple hundred people in an intimate setting, such as, the Suites or Lecture Series or meetings just like this, the small theater that the kids use for their performances in the wintertime. So is there going to be something that can be used in the school for meetings, like class meetings?
That large.
Oh, it's a rather small meeting space.
Yeah, there are larger meeting spaces designed in the new school. Not, I don't think as large as this one, but there are larger than like a normal classroom.
Because I know in the school setting, the little theater was a good size for that, the Savings Bank Theater. And plus they could have like an entire class come in and be together in an intimate setting.
Yeah, there's going to be, like, I think you indicated, like a lecture room like that.
Okay, and a lecture hall, so about how many people?
Do you know? Off the top of our head. They're looking it up.
Do you think it would be terraced?
Yeah, it's think of like a college lecture hall seating with, the seats go up the back and
Right.
you have aisles that you would walk down and the teacher would stand in. Yeah, similar to this theater, it's definitely a higher elevation change and narrower. But I don't know the seat count off the top of my head.
Will there be any acoustics and lighting for performances?
No,
Okay, that's unfortunate. Thank you.
all right, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none. As indicated, as we said, if you, would provide, if you have not want to get more information on the project from here on out, I would suggest that you either click on that on the website and submit your email, or if you're here presently, and I hope you will come and make sure you give us your email so that you're on that email list, so that you do know if there's any changes happening. So we realize that this is, a significant project for the town, but also we realize that for the neighbors, it's significantly inconvenience. But unfortunately, there was no other place we could put a new school. So this is what we have, and we appreciate your patience and your consideration. Dennis? Yep. You want me to?
No, I think you're doing a great job.
Uh, it's a normal process that the town goes through, seeking, members for all the various committees. So-
And my friend asked me if you got paid for this. I assume it was a volunteer.
Only the good wishes of, other members of our committee,
Thank you.
which is more than enough. Anyone else have any questions? Yes,
Hi, when I click on the link,
it's gonna,
For
I think it will depend on how things are going. You know, I know this is the third such meeting we've had. And I really don't want to commit just yet. I'm gonna see how things are going before we do that. We may need to do it earlier. I just don't know yet.
But there'll be meetings to keep us updated.
So, I mean, we have that website and and as hopefully you have that email address collected so we can still communicate with you. Okay?
I think there's one more on the online.
when I click on the link for project updates, Brookline, Mass comes up.
It says when he clicks on the link for project updates, Brookline, Mass comes up.
I'll fix that.
Thank you.
V to sec.
D
second?
checker.
V to
checker.
checker. Okay, is that you? Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
thank you.
All right, anything else? Well, thank you all for coming tonight.
Hang on, there's
Thank
one
you all.
more up
Oh,
there.
We got one more. Sorry.
Could you be more specific? When the construction trucks come off Route 95, how are they going to get to this project? You said Route 129, but
So they come down through Wakefield Square from 129 at the Rotary. They come down through Wakefield Square and then they go down Water Street to Farm.
oh,
Or they come from Route 1, Main Street, Saugus, up to Farm.
they're going to go right through Wakefield Square? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can't come down Montrose. And yes, I mean, that's the best route that's a truck route through town, yes.
Thank you.
Well, once again, thank you all for coming. And if you have any questions, please, make sure you contact us through the website and through email. Oh, we got another one. All right, sorry. Yes?
Sir, how are you? Just a quick question. Kevin Flynn, 42 Wiley Street. I just had a question if you knew, especially with the softball fields opening, if you had any idea if the students would be able to access the high school anytime soon from Wiley Street. We get quite a few kids cutting through the yards and they're no issue. And we like to use the facilities over there as well. So I didn't know if once that project would be coming to an end, if there would be access to the high school or to the fields from Wiley Street.
Tim?
I'll take this one, Kev. Kev and I grew up together, graduated high school together. There is no plan to open any gates surrounding this project anytime soon. So once the project itself is complete, we'll still have the outfield gated so that nobody will be able to access the construction site. I'm not wrong on that, right, Jerry?
I mean, we're gonna take part of the around the Burnett Field will be taken down before the spring for them to use it.
Right, but we'll still have the project area will be.
The
will be
project
completely-
area will be
Completely
closed off,
gated.
yes.
Does that answer your question, Kev?
Yeah, yeah, no, I was just wondering.
Cool.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys.
No, I think we have a lot of work right outside of the field. We won't be opening that road up or that access. Right, so that's still gonna be closed off, that access from Wiley.
Great. Okay. Just wondering.
All right,
Thank you.
no. All right, once again, thank you. Well,